If you have ever tried a sunscreen stick, there was a time when we were sold from different brands, so many varieties. I also tried some of them. But in my experience, none of the brands, none of the sunscreen sticks that I tried were ever a hit. They were too heavy, too greasy, too much of, something like sitting on the skin surface, just right there. And the weather that I'm in, which is hot and humid, that just did not work well. All of those felt very, very uncomfortable. But today I'm reviewing the Shiseido Clear Sunscreen Stick SPF 50 Plus, broad spectrum for face and body, and water resistant for 80 minutes. I know you can see I've used it a couple of times already, as you can tell from its appearance, but honestly this one actually surprised me in a good way. This is a chemical sunscreen stick SPF 50 plus broad spectrum. It came actually in this plastic pouch. Not very classy, not very Shiseido-like, but yeah, that's how it came in. This has been gifted by the brand. I'm not sure if, because it is kind of reflective here, but I'll read that out to you. The UV filters used here are Avobenzone 2.5%, as you can see, Homosalate 10%, Octisalate 5%, and Octocrylene 10%. And it claims to help prevent sunburn, reduce the risk of skin cancer, and prevent early signs of aging caused by sun exposure. And you're supposed to apply it 15 minutes before sun exposure as directed by the brand, and reapply after 80 minutes of swimming or sweating. So on paper, it is a very standard high protection sunscreen. Now, before I tried this, as I told you about my experience in the past, hasn't been very good about sunscreens, especially in the stick formulation. They all were heavy, greasy, I can't forget that feeling of, something sitting on the skin just right there, not getting absorbed in, was so irritating. So I went into this one cautiously optimistic and not excited. And usually whenever I'm trying a new product, I get pretty excited about it. I can't wait to open the package and apply it on my skin and see how it feels, feel how it feels, the sensory feeling, the experience. But with this one, as I said, I was a little cautious because I have had pretty bad experiences, not in terms of, not having enough sun protection, but just the way the product sat on my skin and felt. The first thing I noticed, this does not feel heavy. That is one. Now let me tell you two scenarios. One was when I was using it just on its own without any moisturizer, just the first thing in the morning, and it felt like nothing. You do feel product on your skin, but it's comfortable, it's not greasy and not suffocating. It glides on smoothly, doesn't tug the skin, and once applied, it just sits there nicely. But when I used it, after having done my skincare and I used this product, I felt a similar kind of heaviness, but not as much. But yes, I could feel the product sitting there. I could feel maybe it's just, these kinds of formulations, maybe they don't sit really well with, other kind of, moisturizers, serums that you might have applied. Although it does not make any sense, it should be working well. Or maybe it's just my weather, that in a hot and humid weather, if I layer too many products underneath a product like this, it just feels very heavy. This feels heavy. But if I'm not using any skincare product, I just washed my face with water and applied this one directly. It felt really nice, and there was no heaviness, there was no feeling of greasiness at all. And that's a strange thing about this product, I feel. And another thing I must share here, there is something with Shiseido formulations. All their formulations, all the skincare products I have tried, not like so many. This is the third one that I've tried, and all these three products, I feel they do have some sort of, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos as well, there is this signature Shiseido complex that goes in every skincare product, and it just enhances, it just works on your skin in a way that your skin looks more refined in terms of texture and finish. I feel all Shiseido products that I have tried so far, they have been extremely skin friendly. Your skin instantly looks a bit more polished, a bit more put together. And wearing this just on its own, every morning before I actually, take shower and do my proper skincare routine, before I do that, I work out, and there is a bit of time, maybe like 4 or 5 hours where I work out, cook meals. So all that time, I usually do not go with an intense, all kind of skincare products. The only thing I use then is wash my face with plain water and use a sunscreen. And this one works perfectly fine for that kind of scenario where I'm not using, other products underneath. So this is where this sunscreen really won me over. Also, another great thing about this is it does not sting your eyes. And if you have used chemical sunscreens, you know how big that is. Once sunscreen gets into your eyes, oh my God, your entire day is ruined. Constant watering, irritation, discomfort. I applied this around my face, wore it for hours, and had zero eye irritation. For me, that alone is a major, major plus. Now let's talk money. On the Shiseido website, this retails for $33 and you get 20 grams of product. Is this cheap? No. But is it overpriced for what it is? I feel no. At this price point, you already have plenty of sunscreen options. So this kind of a product makes sense only if you like chemical sunscreens, you like something portable, you reapply sunscreen outdoors. And for you, there is a time in your day where you apply just sunscreen. You are not using any other skincare products underneath, just like I am. As a premium skincare stick, I feel the pricing is aligned with the experience. Now looking at all the chemical filters, I was like, okay, I have to check how much of these, are allowed as per the approved limits. And is Shiseido, of course, it's not a question. They should be sticking by to the guidelines. So maximum allowed limit in the US for Avobenzone is up to 3%. Here it is used at 2.5%. Homosalate is up to 15%. Here it is used at 10%. Octisalate can be used up to 5%. And here it is used at maximum limit. Octocrylene can be used up to 10%, and here also it is used at the maximum limit. So yes, of course, this formula stays within the approved safety regulated limits. Like all chemical sunscreens, it's doing its job by absorbing UV radiations and converting it into heat. If you personally avoid chemical filters, this might not be for you. But from a formulation and regulation standpoint, this is a legit safe sunscreen. Would I recommend it? Yes. If you use chemical sunscreens, want a sunscreen stick that's actually comfortable to apply and portable to carry around, you hate eye stinging formulas, and you're okay to spend $33 on a sunscreen formulation, then definitely yes, it is a solid buy. It's not revolutionary, but it's well formulated, elegant, and easy to use. And for a sunscreen stick, that already puts it ahead of many others that I've tried in the past. If you have tried this sunscreen stick or any other sunscreen in the stick formulation, let me know how your experience has been. And if you found this review helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Neha signing off. I'll see you all in my next video. Until then, stay tuned, stay beautiful.